On this week's weekly video fishing forecast, we share with you some amazing footage of whales feeding off Cape Cod. We'll have all the details on this weekend's seafood festival at the Long Island Maritime Museum. We check in with our correspondents and I go around the island with reports and notable catches, all here at thefisherman.com.
The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners.
Today's Thursday, August 17, 2023, and we're here at the Long Island Maritime Museum in West Sayville, where on Saturday and Sunday, the 19th and 20th, the Long Island Seafood Festival will take place. Admission is $10. There'll be live music both days, of course, and the best seafood around. Hours are 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and I'll be here, so come down and say hello. Visit www.limmseafoodfestival.org for more information. This incredible footage of whales bubble feeding 3 miles off Cape Cod was sent to the New Jersey Delaware Managing Bay Editor Jim Hutchinson by Nathan Bernhard, and it was very cool to see, so we have to share with you guys. Captain Bernhard says he regularly sees whales on the tuna grounds, but this is the best encounter he's ever had to date. By the way, he says his crew and him are developing a new show to launch in October called Deep Water Legends. We'll keep an eye out for that in the future. Back in the July issue of the Fisherman magazine, this article, Old School Offshore Interpreting Whale Behavior, ran. It was by Alex Friedman. He describes bubble net feeding, whereby a pod of whales use bubbles to, like a net, to keep bait tight for a nice big single gulp. Tuna blow, quite possibly, even probably, and according to Friedman, when you see these humpbacks deliberately smacking the surface with their tails, it's called lobstering. I did not know that. And it's typically a social behavior that means the feed is done in time for you to find a new offshore stop sign for fishing. Click on the card or check the description for the link on that. Speaking of tuna, check out Captain Jim Frieda's article on tuna intel, and this is why it's a good reason to be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine. Great weekly content. You're automatically entered into the Dreamboat contest and your chance to win a center console from Steiger Craft, powered by Yamaha. $30 for 12 issues and all the digital content sent to your inbox. It is one of the best deals going out there. But now let's head to the Dreamboat Challenge update with Tim C. Smith.
We had 2 fish hit the board this week in the Dreamboat Challenge. The first was a 2.75-pound sea robin entered by Tri Koo, landing him in 7th place for the category. Then we had a 10.95-pound fluke entered by Kyle Kraus, landing him in 7th place for the flatfish category. The top 3 somehow avoided change this week. We have Luke Citrarelli sitting in 3rd place with 13 points, Eddie Terrabile holding in 2nd place with 18 points, and Bobby Cifarelli still leading the event with 25 total points. Keep an eye on Kyle Kraus, though. He's waiting just off the podium with 12 total points. The Dreamboat Fishing Challenge is the Fisherman subscriber-only multi-species fishing competition with a chance to win a new 21-foot Steiger Craft center console powered by Yamaha, along with many other great prizes. Visit thefisherman.com to subscribe and get all the details so you can be part of the action.
Now let's get to the upcoming events. As I mentioned before, August 19th and 20th, it's the Long Island Maritime Museum Seafood Festival, and I will be here. This Sunday is the 20th. It's the Snapper and Crab Derby for kids up to 16 years of age at Capt. The Staten Island Tuna Club is holding their Jim Ryan Memorial Fluke Tournament on the 26th. Also on the 26th is the Hooks for Heroes Summer Fluke Slam out of Point Lookout. And on the last weekend of August, once again, is the Long Island Sound Bluefish Tournament. It's the greatest one out there, and the grand prize is $25 grand. Next week, I'll have some of my personal bluefish tips for you to help you win. Just a heads up, put Thursday, September 21st into your calendar. The Fisherman is holding their 2023 fishing show and seminar once again at the Long Island Hilton in Melville. It's a huge event. You got to check it out. For all the details, visit thefisherman.com/events. Now let's head over to the map with some notable catches for the week along with my reports. Over in Montauk, Carlos sent in this picture of himself with a 5-pound giant sea bass jigged off the ground south of the point. Staying in Montauk still, the ebb tide is still hammering away at big stripers on their jigging trips. Another big congratulations goes out to long-time ebb tide customer Terry Coleman for jigging up a 53-pounder during last week's trip. Well done and well-deserved, Terry. Of course, we can't forget about the fluke this time of the year in Montauk either. Rob broke the mark we're all looking for with this 10.1-pounder landed on the Montauk Star. That got him the pool for the day. Moving west, Cobia are still inside the South Shore bays. Alex caught and released this 34-incher on a live spot inside Fire Island Inlet earlier in the week. Remember, they have to be 37 inches to keep. The offshore bite didn't lack either during the week. Alex proved this with a solid yellowfin he took on the troll in the Hudson Canyon. For my personal reports, we'll circle back around to the east end. The fluke fishing picked up again with many keepers to 10 pounds, 10.1 pounds actually in the Montauk Star. They're making their way to the scales. Sea bass and porgies remain active along the bottom grounds, while stripers have made their way east to Block area. Tuna were at about 25 miles south of the point as well. Some bluefish did remain active around the point. Along the central South Shore, the outside reefs were producing sea bass and triggerfish, with fluke roaming the edges of those reefs. Inside the bays, fluke action remained steady, with nothing super large, but plenty of keepers to keep it extra interesting. The bays were also getting loaded with blowfish, kingfish, crabs, and snappers, all summer favorites. Some cobia popped up again this week as well, as I mentioned before, but they were definitely hit or miss, and not really a fish you could target, but you would get them as a bycatch once in a while. Best spots will be near the inlets and on the bunker pods outside. Spanish mackerel can be caught in the Fire Island Inlet area if you want to get a kid fishing. Again, the snapper action at the local docks along the Great South Bay and piers along the Great South Bay is red hot right now. Little cast masters, little tins, little snapper poppers, spearing under a hook, all those things are working. Heading further west, the party and charter boats reported top-notch improvement on the fluke rounds in the ocean. Fluke to 10 pounds have been captured, and there's still plenty of shorts to keep the rods bent. Flighties seem to be developing a preference for squid, so keep that in mind. They also will be chopping on spearing, fish bites, and gulps, so also have them with you when you go fluking. Action was very, very good along the 60 to 80 foot ranges on the inside around the bays. Check the Wantaw, Bridges, Massapequa Cove, the Jones Beach Fishing Piers, and Tanner Park. Again, Fire Island Inlet was a better choice with the flatties, but you know, the Verrazano Bridge vicinity, the Narrows, another great option as well. Bottom fishing in the bay, Jamaica Bay that is showing signs of late summer improvement with kingfish, blowfish, triggers, and even Virginia spots showing up. Along the North Shore, you're in luck this week if you do like bluefish, as a massive school has moved into the sound once again with fish from cocktails up to 16 pounds. This bodes very well for the WICC Greatest Bluefish Tournament slated for October 26th and 27th. Fluke fishing has geared up in a couple notches this week, especially from Oyster Bay out to Shinnecock, with a generous helping of keepers to 7 pounds. Porgy fishing remains consistent along the beaches and out to 30 and 70 feet along most rock piles stretching across the sound. Scup fishermen are also getting in good catches of weakfish and spot mixed in along some of these spots with a sprinkling of sea bass too. The east end boats continue to see excellent sea bass fishing with plenty of jumbo scup mixed in with the catches. Striper fishing has shifted over to nights inside most of the bays and harbors, as well as along the sound beaches. Snappers are increasing in size on a daily basis, can be found inside about every harbor and bay around the local docks. Rich Von Ohlen is back this week. He reports good fluke action in the Reynolds Channel with mostly shorts, but a few keepers mixed in also, and plenty of cocktail blues too. Rich, what is our weather looking like this weekend?
Hey, thanks, Matt. Let's check that weekend forecast and see what we got going on. You can always check your favorite apps, weather tools, weather sites, whatever you got. There's a general heads up, general overview on the upcoming weekend. So our water temps kind of holding 70s, came down a little bit the last week or two, but overall not too bad. A little animation of the wave heights here. We do see a lot of blue on there for both Saturday and Sunday. I don't think we're going to get anything major in terms of problems in the ocean. Maybe later Sunday into Monday, some rolls coming in. But a little map there for Saturday. Looks good. A lot of sunshine, a little breeze from the northwest. Sunday, a little cloudier. I think we'll have, a little less in the way of wind. So I think we're looking okay. 70s to near 80 on Saturday, not too hot, a little more humid on Sunday, maybe some 80s. A little check of the guru there. I see, a little bit of wind on Saturday, northwest, maybe going westerly, about 10 to 15 gusts to 20. So a little chop there, especially on the east end. Sunday, maybe the pick of the weekend with a little less wind for the ocean, but overall looking pretty good. So good to be back. All right, big weekend coming up. Be safe, enjoy as always. Catch 'em up. Matt, back to you.
From Shinnecock, we have Mike Dean. Mike, what's going on?
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. Fortunately, still some of that doldrum fishing going on, summer doldrums. But there is some stuff going on. Fluke fishing's going pretty good when the weather cooperates out in the ocean. Some really nice fish coming up, along with sea bass on the reefs, and even sometimes when drifting for fluke. Also porgies, red hake, and some ling and occasional cod in the mix. So kind of nice a few weeks away from a six fish bag limit on the sea bass as opposed to 3 that's going on right now. Striped bass, not a whole lot going on. Seen some schoolies in the beach feeding on mole crabs. So, smaller fish, basically right up in the lip, and any kind of, structure basically like a lot of the smaller jetties or even, fishing the inlet. Some big blues still around in Mauritius. Haven't seen much of those in Shinnecock. Seems to be a relentless amount of cocktail blues. Definitely when I've been trying to target fluke from shore, basically just feeding those guys fish bites. I was doing that today back in the bay, and just a little frustrating. Took the fish bites off and throwing a fat cow jig strip so it wouldn't get bit off, and thought I was into something gigantic, and foul hooked the cow nose right, which I never really expected to be back in the bay. So kind of cool. Felt bad that I foul hooked him, but quick unhooking, he was on his way. The tuna fishing, Quambris, some of the near shore spots for tuna seem to be a little hit or miss. Epic day, a couple of days of nothing. For those going further out, specifically a number of people that are fishing the purple tuna tournament out of Oakland's that supports research for pancreatic cancer. As some of you may know, Doug Oakland passed a number of years ago from pancreatic cancer. So a great cause, great group of anglers, and some really nice fish. Believe it was a 146-pound bluefin on the jig, number of big eyes, lots of yellowfin, just some really nice fish coming back, and a great cause. So really cool to see that. That wraps up this weekend. So, good luck to all those that they're getting their last licks in for either their overnights or their day trips. There have been a couple of reports of bonita around, which means Spanish mackerel should be here as well. Small deadly dicks, small diamond jigs, and you never know. I mean, there's albies up in Cape Cod. Typically, as a buddy of mine was telling me from one of the local tackle shops, we get a couple of days in August where they might speed in, check things out, speed off, and then they come back mid to late September. So stuff is starting to get going, believe it or not. We're really not that far out from the fall run. So get out there and fish. Let us know how you do. Leave a comment below, and I'll talk to you next week. Back to you, Matt.
From Northport, we have the Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle Report.
Hey, it's another great day at the shop. I can hear everybody talking, trading fish stories and through the wall right now. I'm in the back of the shop. This is where my rod shop is. So it's fun. You get to hear a lot of stuff, and there's so many great conversations going on about the fishing, because the fishing really is fantastic. There's been a big shift of beautiful slot-sized bass moved into the bay, and they're totally on top of these peanut bunker. There's just vast numbers of schools of peanut bunker. You're looking at some beautiful fluke inside the bay as well. On the outside with the triangle, still got blues and bass. So there's a large body of fish, and they just keep working their way around. We've got weak fish in the mix. The fluking still going really well. Porgies everywhere. Sea bass deep. there's just so many good things to say, and it's becoming a crescendo as we're in August. The water is warm. I'm even hearing rumors of some really big sharks inside the bay as well, on top of these bluefish that have moved in on the schools of the peanut bunker. And there's just so much going on out there. It's amazing. Remember, drop on by the shop. We've got 2 shops. We've got an in Haleside on the water, and we're also in Northport on the water. So it's 2 great places that really we try to work with the communities, and we're always looking for people and info and advice. And if you got some good feedback, give it to us. If you enjoyed ports, please go on Google and give us a thumbs up or some kind of nice review. That's always great for our business. And as always, I bid you peace and tight lines.
From the Fire Island area in Great South Bay, let's check in with Captain Lorenzetti.
Hey Matt, Fire Island report. Fishing is pretty good. Last week on Thursday, I had a 7-pound fluke inside, and believe it or not, this is very unusual. I had a bass, 32 pounds. Of course, we released that one, and I had a keeper bass, 29 inches. So there's a mix of bass. Bluefish are all over the place, some smaller ones, some big ones. It's ready. The weak fish bite's going to start here any day. They're going to start bunching up, usually a little later in the month, and then through September. That's excellent. But still a decent fluke bite in Fire Island, striped bass around, and God knows what else. But fishing is good. Sunday looks like a really good day coming up, Matt. So that's it for this week. I'll let you know what happens. Talk to you next week, Matt.
With our fly and freshwater report, we have Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Matt. Well, I was out here guiding over at the Connecticut, and I called my daughter, and I said, listen, I just found out there is a riding stable attached to the Connecticut Park. Why don't we go riding? I went last year back into the Bob Marsh Wilderness area, 10 days on a horseback. I had a great time. I love it. So I decided, let's do a trail ride through one of the nicest parks here on Long Island, and that's the Connecticut Park. The fishing was pretty good with my client. We were very fortunate to land. He landed 7 fish, had about 8 or 9 fish. One of the biggest problems with beginners is line control, but it's something that you can learn very easily. I also went out saltwater fishing yesterday out on my boat, and I did pretty good on sea robins and fluke, but no blues. I've been looking for them, and they're out there. I could see them, but they just weren't taking what I was given. But anyway, I've been talking to a lot of people. A good friend of mine, Tom, he's still fishing out there. He said it's all about the tides. He has his favorite places. He actually shared a few favorite places with me. I don't know, maybe he was lying or something. I don't know. But he actually, he's successful. He's out there all the time, and that's the secret. You gotta put your time in. Get out there right now. I'm putting my time in with carp. I'm having a great time. Not easy fish, but it's a lot of opportunities that we have. If you like, come into the shop, and I will give you some secrets. Not Tom's secrets, though. But until next week, tie lines, everybody.
If you'd like to be a part of our weekly video fishing forecast, we are currently looking for social media savvy anglers reporting from the hyper-local metro and Long Island area, and especially from the beach. So if you're a captain, tackle shop, or just an avid angler yourself, contact my producer at tcslibayrat@gmail.com.
Hey Matt, it's Nick from LA Kayak Fishing. Just jigging up some porgy. Wow, look at this porgy. Jesus, feisty. Look at the color on him. Not really a keeper. Woo! It's a little breezy out here, as you can see. I'm just using these slow pitch jigs for porgy, man. It's a lot of fun. I'm only in like 15 feet of water here, but porgy are pretty stacked as they usually are. Just trying to catch some lunch. Fishing's been amazing in the Western Sound. There's been a lot of bluefish blitzes taking place. It's actually funny. So the other day I saw a cocktail bluefish jump straight up into the air like 6 feet high. I was like, what the hell is that? It must be getting eaten by something, right? So I caught one, and as I was reeling it in, a gator bluefish came and bit the whole thing in half. So, there's some crazy stuff going on. It looks like the cocktails are blitzing on, peanut bunker or whatever. And then the gator blues are blitzing on the cocktails. And then, maybe there's some big stripers underneath them. Who knows? I haven't really seen anything like that yet. But I mean, it's not even fall yet. Things are pretty crazy out here. I feel like this wind just won't quit. It's really like starting to get to me, man. It's been windy for like the past 3 weeks at least. Anyway, I'm ranting. But yeah, that's all I got for you. You guys can follow me on LI Kayak Fishing on YouTube and LI Kayak Fishing on Instagram. Thanks, Matt. Back to you.
Let's check in with Max Finch from the Connecticut side of the Western Sound.
Report. This past week, the diamond jig and bite and then bass and blues on top at 11B has been red hot. Our harbors are loaded with peanut bunker, the porgies are biting, and the fluke remains so-so. People looking for black sea bass are heading to our deep water wrecks. The bluefish are found at 28C, 11B, and then at nighttime and early morning hours on the higher tides, they've been coming in our harbors along our beaches to feed out all the peanut bunker that are around. I've seen anglers from shore, beaches, and our calf pasture pier doing really well from blues ranging from 8 to like 14 pounds. And then anglers out on the boat, diamond jig at 11B and 28 has been phenomenal, and the bass and blues are coming up on top on the slower moving parts of the tide. The Bluefish tournament is coming up the end of the month, so remember, you got to sign up in the shop or you can sign up online. And thanks and good luck.
Captain Mike Sentry has the latest from Staten Island.
Well, for today's episode, well, it was National Geographic Day. Decided to go out for commercial season bluefin tuna. Season closes tomorrow, Thursday, 11 p.m. And to no surprise, what I wanted was between 73 and 80 inches. And what actually hits the rod is not one, but two giant bluefin tuna and a shark at the same time. I had 3 of my 130s go off simultaneously on a bunker pod. What's interesting is when you go out there and you see bunker pod, you gotta see a boiling. You gotta see bunker chasing each other on top of each other, pretty much running for their lives. And you know there's something really big when they're going around in circles, they're being corralled. So that was my day today, this morning, around 8:23 a.m. Me by myself solo, so just imagine what I went through, the big tangles, the big knots, the line mess, pretty much everything. Lost every single fish, which was kind of a curse and a blessing. And 40-something minutes later, I set out a live bunker on the same bunker pod, flat lining, and I turn around as I'm eating my breakfast sandwich, and there is a giant-sized bluefin tuna the size of a mini school bus getting airborne, trying to eat my bunker. That came tight, and unfortunately within probably 10 to 12 seconds the line goes pop like a 12-gauge shotgun. So I'm not sure what happened on that. I think the line had a knot, the top shot, because that's the only time it explodes like that, in my opinion. Other than that, there's definitely some really big bluefins out there. So definitely get your gear ready. Season's starting pretty much this week, as every other year. I'm waiting for cooler water in September, so that's going to be a big surprise. Cooler water will definitely throw away some of the sharks and bring in more of this tuna. With that said, the offshore bite's pretty much spectacular. Yellowfin, inshore, squid grounds off Jersey, still catching. Plenty of overs and the occasional 90, 92 inches on live squid. With that said, let me get going, make the short, brief, and simple, and back to you, man.
Fisherman Magazine has launched their apparel store. We have hats, sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts all online now, and it's free shipping for orders over $100. It is the perfect gift for yourself. Visit thefisherman.com/shop or click on the card in the upper right. Remember to like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And be sure to check out this video's description on YouTube for all the related links and index for specific reports. And please support our correspondents by visiting their websites and their social media pages. Don't forget this video is available as a podcast on iTunes and Google Podcasts. Just search for the Fisherman Magazine podcast and subscribe so you can listen to this broadcast and other content. We do hope you've been enjoying the weekly video fishing forecast. If you would potentially like to see your photo featured on it, remember to send them over my way, Broderick at thefisherman.com. Enjoy the weekend, and maybe I'll see you Saturday at the Seafood Festival. Come say hi, and we will chat fishing. Have a good weekend.